Just before we get started with the video today, I do want to say that it's brought to you by Beardblaze. Some of you might have heard of this before because I have another channel called Businessblaze, and that channel actually led to the very development of this product. Long story short is that I made a joke on that channel about how YouTubers all have beauty products, and a fan of the channel reached out being like, I can make your beauty products happen. Except that beauty product was beard oil, and that's what we made happen. Beardblaze makes a full, luscious beard a reality, solving all of life's problems with fine facial hair, not a guarantee. What basically happened was this guy that I teamed up with, Will, he sent me a bunch of different beard oil samples that I went and rubbed in my beards like some sort of disgusting lab rat, and then we came up with the ones that we really liked. There's a whole range of them. My personal favorite is this one that I've got here. This is the Basic Blaze. I have a fairly basic, low maintenance beard. I just put a couple of drops of this in the morning, and basically what it does is it just keeps those stray hairs in. You know, I use a brush, and then everything is all rather neat. But if you've got things like beard dandruff or beardruff, well, we've got an oil for that. We've also got oils for a whole bunch of different things. You can check them out at beardblaze.com. One other thing I also liked is you'll notice that this is not a tiny bottle. If you've bought beard oil before, and you've been like, oh, it was really expensive, and the bottle comes, and it's really small. So we made large bottles at reasonable prices, because why not? Beardblaze.com, let's get into today's video. It's said to be France's most expensive road project, but it's not actually in France. It's a road, but the vast majority of it doesn't run over land. Are you confused yet? The new coastal road, which is being constructed on the French overseas department of Réunion in the Indian Ocean, is said to be one of the most eye-catching new mega projects due to appear soon. At only 12.5 kilometers in length, it certainly isn't its size that's impressive, but instead of revamping the old dangerous road that runs close to the cliff, planners have designed a road that will use a series of platforms and a viaduct to run across the ocean rather than the land. The road will connect two of the main residential areas on Réunion, Saint-Denis, the largest city, and La Possession to the west. It was initially hoped that it would be ready in 2020, but that seems to have come and gone. Absolutely certainly. I'm recording this in 2021. With costs now soaring up to 1.6 billion euros, that's close to $2 billion, this is a mighty expensive piece of road when we look at its cost per kilometer. The small island of Réunion lies east of Madagascar in the expansive Indian Ocean. It measures 63 kilometers long by 45 kilometers wide, and it has a population of 859,000 people. The island's landmass is just over 2,500 square kilometers, but the majority of that is mountainous. In fact, not only is it mountainous, it's volcanic, with the extinct Piton de Neiges measuring 3,070 meters, and the very much active Piton de la Fournaise at 2,631 meters, known locally as Le Volcan, which sounds just a little bit ominous to us. And Le Volcan isn't one of those active volcanoes that's happy to just sit around and relax. The eruption in 2007 was the largest in over 100 years and produced a staggering 3 million cubic meters of lava per day for 9 days. And then there was the 2004 eruption, and the 2015 one, and the 2016 one, and the 2019 one, and the 2020. Anyway, I'm sure you get my drift. This is one of the most active volcanoes anywhere on the planet. The island's principal industries are rum and sugar production. Sounds like a good time, but it has seen a steady rise in tourism in recent years. That being said, Réunion suffers from painfully high unemployment, which has remained for decades now. The unemployment rate in 2016 was 23%, and that's the lowest it's been since 2008. The makeup of the landmass makes expansion particularly difficult. Most residential areas are wedged along the coast, with roads heading inlands that are invariably small, windy, and potentially dangerous. The current road that snakes around the island is known as the RN1, a 4-lane highway that no doubt has its charms, but also has plenty of limitations. Like any road built at the foot of a steep cliff, you may often find it closed because of rockfalls, while adverse weather is also known to cause the closure of this vital connection between residential areas. On average, the road is closed 40 times per year, which no doubt is a massive pain for those who use it. What's even worse is that rockfalls have killed 23 motorists over the last decade. So basically, overall, this road is kind of a terrible thing to have to live with. The new coastal road has been designed to relieve the pressure from the smaller RN1 and will lie between 80 and 300 meters off the shore while curving around to follow the island's coast. The road will run between two cities, 16 kilometers apart, and the most visually striking part of this road is the 5.4 kilometer long viaduct, along with 3 intersections where it connects with other roads and 6 sea embankment sections. Now that makes everything sound fairly straightforward, but the challenges involved with building the new coastal road are enormous. So let's start with the wind. This is an area of the world that tends to get battered by cyclones on the regular. The road needs to be able to withstand winds of up to 300 kilometers an hour. Then there is the obvious problem of waves crashing into the structure day in and day out for years and years to come. And to top it all off, and remember this is the volcano capital of the world, it's also an area prone to the odd earthquake every now and again. So we've got cyclones, we've got thunderous waves, we've got volcanoes and earthquakes. If that's not a significant set of challenges, then I don't know what is. But you know, what is life without a good challenge? Not only will the new road greatly reduce congestion in the local area, but it's hoped that it could lead to further investment on the island, while also providing over 18,000 jobs in the meantime. Work on the coastal road. It began in 2013, and it's being built by a French consortium including Bourget's Travaux Publics, Vinci Construction Grands Projects, Dodin Champignon Bernard, and the Matthew Bard Construction. And I have to now apologize for my hideous French pronunciation. I took French in school. I was absolutely terrible at it. Let's continue. In total, the road will use 48 large platforms, which were prefabricated at a production plant nearby before being moved down to the ocean. This was done to negate the impact on local wildlife and flora, but it also saved the construction team the nightmarish job of trying to build these platforms in rough seas. The platforms are between 24 and 38 meters tall, with 12 to 15 meters of that being below sea level and between 3 and 8 meters being below the ocean floor itself. Key to the entire project has been the massive Zorit, Creole for octopus. This mega barge used to maneuver the platforms into place was built in Poland specifically for this project, and it's roughly the size of a football pitch. On top of that, the project is also using the world's largest offshore overhead travel crane, which is secured to a floating platform. This includes 2 pairs of lifting beams and is 30 meters in width. The crane is used to anchor the platform securely on the ocean floor before lifting other prefabricated sections into place. As you can imagine, it is not a quick process. Now, the viaducts will be both the most impressive but also the most difficult section of the road to build. It contains 36 main pier sections and 1,386 precast segments, each weighing between 210 and 285 tons. A specially designed launching girder measuring 278 meters in length and weighing 2,600 tons was constructed and supports the work going on beneath it. The massive girder is then slowly advanced as the platforms and road below it are installed, and it is designed to be able to withstand 240 km/h cyclone winds. The viaduct was produced using 300,000 cubic meters of concrete and 52,000 tons of steel. The structure that forms the new coastal road has a predicted life cycle of 100 years. Now, 100 years isn't exactly a short time, but it's not exactly an enormously long time either. The fact that this will all need to be replaced in a century says a lot about the strain that building in these kinds of conditions puts on even the sturdiest of materials. While most of the attention is reserved for the road itself, the embankment below acts as its vital shield against the mighty ocean. 19 million tons of rock, gravel, and sand was brought down to the coast from quarries around the island to form the foundations of this embankment. Along with that, 38,500 hard-shell acropods, which are those strange-shaped concrete objects designed to protect coastal structures, were also added. In total, these acropods weigh a colossal 780,000 tons, and they were by no means scattered randomly. Each one contains the equivalent of a black box, which allows them to be lowered by cranes with pinpoint accuracy in a pre-designed pattern to maximize the coastal defense. There was also plenty of consideration regarding the impact on wildlife as construction progressed. As you can imagine, this kind of building work is incredibly noisy, and that noise can be harmful to animals such as whales and dolphins. To remedy this, or at least to try and remedy it, sound barriers were installed near areas of offshore work. This was done using bubble curtains, which is a system where bubbles are produced in a deliberate arrangement that acts as a pneumatic barrier. The same kind of system is often used to combat oil spills or to block the entrances to harbors. There has been some controversy surrounding this project, with some in France questioning whether this kind of money should be spent on an overseas department so far from the mainland. Some see the project as extravagant and over the top, and have queried whether it could have been done on a significantly smaller budget. Those on the island seem united in the need for the coastal road, though, but there has been some animosity regarding some of the quarries that have been opened. A recent court hearing rules that some of the environmental reports done on the quarries and the effects of dust in the area are inaccurate. And in any case, the project has suffered from a shortage of rock and sand on the islands, with barges and aircraft now bringing over materials from Madagascar. There seems to be a little confusion over just when the new coastal road on Reunion will finally open. There are whispers of late 2021, but the local government has stated that it's now on schedule for a 2022 completion. With its original cost estimate of 700 million euros more than doubled, it's not difficult to understand why some people see this as an overly ambitious project. The French have a complicated relationship with their overseas departments, as do many nations who own distant lands gained long ago. Large-scale and costly infrastructure projects are often met with barely muted grumbles from the mainland. The idea of distant outposts scattered around the globe sounds appealing, just as long as they don't cost too much money. But while this project certainly has some extravagance to it, there weren't actually many other options. On a small island like Reunion, space is at a premium, and its aging transport system can hardly support its ever-growing population. The conquering of the water will mean faster and easier movement around this section of the island, with high hopes that it could lead to some sort of rejuvenation for an island that is still suffering badly from the fallout of the 2008 recession. It may be a relatively short distance, but the new coastal road on Reunion is going to provide one hell of a road trip when it's finally done. So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button below. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you are thinking about a mega project right now, watching this video, being like, Simon, you should cover that on mega project, well, leave it below in the comments. And if it gets voted up to the top, I probably will, because I find a lot of ideas for these videos in that comment section. Although this one I saw on a new episode of the Grand Tour, and I thought, let's do that. But the comments are often a good source, and thank you for watching.